and welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight we're going to make a quinoa dish with some mint and some other lovely flavorings. What we're going to start with is the quinoa, and what I wanted to show you is how to rinse quinoa because it has a little bit of a bitter coating on it, and if you don't rinse quinoa, it can have a bit of a bitter flavor, which is fine sometimes, but sometimes you don't want that. Especially if you have people who aren't used to eating quinoa, they might not be used to that. So what you do is put some water on it, and this is okay to use non-filtered because we're gonna strain it off. And then all you do is get your hand in there and rub the quinoa with your hand. So see, all I'm doing is just grabbing it and rubbing it. And if you do that in the water, that little bit of bitter coating will come off the quinoa. Alright, so once you got it nice and rinsed, you can do that multiple times if you wish. It'll just make sure that all of that bitterness comes off the outside of the quinoa. So anyway, once you have it nicely rubbed, you can just pour this water off. And you can use a lid to stop the grains from getting out of the pot, but I don't usually do that because the ones that float are ones that you probably don't want to eat anyway. So I don't usually get every last drop of water out of there, but I'm okay with that. So then we want to add water for cooking. And with quinoa, I've got 1 cup of quinoa in here. So I'm going to add 2 cups of water. 1 and 2. A little pinch of salt. This is to help the cooking process, not to make it salty. So just add a tiny little pinch there, and then we're going to put it on the burner. I'm going to get it up to high so that it boils. Put the lid on to get it up there faster. Once it gets to a boil, then I'll turn it down to simmer, and it'll take about half an hour. So while that is cooking, I'm going to start preparing my vegetables, which are 2 beautiful fresh tomatoes, some green onion, some lovely fresh mint from the garden. It smells delicious. That's going to be the star of our dish. Bring that mint flavor into it. And then I've got some parsley for some extra green. And this is a little bit wet. Before you work with your herbs, you want to wash them, but then you want to make sure they're dry because otherwise they won't chop up nicely. And I've got a lemon for flavor that I'm going to zest and juice. And I've got some walnuts. Now these walnuts I have soaking in water to help break down phytic acid, which is around every nut and seed. So soaking them for a little while helps them to be digested more easily. Now after you soak them, you can roast them if you wish. I'm not going to do that, but roasting them lightly helps bring out the flavor. As long as you don't leave them in there for too long, they will still be fine. They will lose some nutrients to the heat, but as long as you don't leave them in for too long, they will be okay. And I'm going to use some garlic and some cumin to flavor it up. So I'm going to get all of my ingredients ready while the quinoa cooks, and then we'll put it together and we'll have a nice summer salad. Now our quinoa has come to a boil, so what I'm going to do is turn that down. And I've got the lemon, I've got it zested and juiced into this bowl. And I'm going to throw the vegetables in here. Now an interesting thing about lemons or oranges or any citrus, I'm sure you've all heard of putting lemon juice on things to keep them from turning brown, like apples or avocado or in guacamole, stuff like that. Reason being, it's the vitamin C. Vitamin C, aside from being assistive to your immune system, is also an antioxidant. And an antioxidant means that it stops molecules from reacting with oxygen in the air. So when you cut open an apple, it starts to turn brown, right? Those are molecules reacting with oxygen. And if you put lemon juice on them, which has an antioxidant, it stops those molecules from reacting. So, since I've cut these vegetables, and they might start reacting with the air, I'm going to put them in the lemon juice and give them a toss. Now, you can also add some olive oil to this if you like, but we're getting some really nice oils in the walnuts, so better to use more walnuts than some olive oil because the walnuts are fresh. When they stay as a whole food, they don't have a chance to start to break down like the olive oil does. So give that a toss, get the lemon juice all around the greens and the tomatoes. And you can toss the walnuts in here at the same time if you like, or they can wait till the end. But since all I'm doing is waiting for this quinoa to cook, I'm just going to toss everything together. And then when the quinoa is done, I'll just toss it in and we'll be ready to go. So I put a little bit of garlic in here, just 1 clove pressed. Because we're not cooking it, garlic can get pretty powerful. Toss that in there, and then I'm going to throw some cumin on here. Totally optional, this will be just fine without any cumin. And a little sprinkle of salt just to bring the flavors together. We'll toss it. And then we're going to put the cooked quinoa in here. Put the quinoa in last because it will tend to suck up the lemon juice and the garlic and any flavor that you put in there. So you want to put it around the vegetables first. Now there is our cooked quinoa. You can see it's nice and light and fluffy. Okay, that's what you're looking for. If it's not at this consistency, it's not done, or you were off in the ratio of water to quinoa. So get it all in there and give it a toss. You can add some other greens to this as well if you like, or you can just serve it over a bed of greens. But once you get it tossed together there, it's going to be delicious. Enjoy it. Some mint quinoa. You can find the recipe at healthyveganrecipes.net. I'm Heather, and this is Freshly Served.